right, everybody. You know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up right now. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. We thank all of those of you who are watching us here live on various platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter TV, and even Twitch. We're also on the Roku channel. Go on to Tiki Live on Roku and put in the search engine Phoenix Entertainment, and you will find us broadcasting to you right now. Now, we also want to give a big shout out to those of you who took time out of your busy schedule to replay us on demand. I appreciate you because guess what? You guys have been ramping up the views. We see you. Very, very nice. We appreciate you for doing that because we are rapidly trying to move our way to getting a number of hours in a year that are watched because YouTube made some breaking news. They're going to cut back the number of subscribers you need from 1,000 to 500. We already got 500, y'all. Thankfully, there's 665 subscribers as we speak right now. So please, guys, keep it up. Remember, pass the word along. You can follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. You can go ahead and go to Real Talk Sports TV, and you will find us on YouTube. So please, if you haven't done already, go there and subscribe, hit that bell, and it'll notify you anytime we are on the air. So appreciate you for doing that. And remember, follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7, or you can follow me personally at Minister J Sim. Well, now we got that out of the way. You know, every time we do a show, we bring on one of the most beautiful women in all of sports talk radio or TV. She's known simply to us as the Queen. Miss Tree Dolman is back in the building. Welcome back.
Hello, Jonathan. Hi, everyone.
What's up? How you be?
What's up?
What's up? How are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Doing well. Looking lovely as always. That's the one thing I always
Mhm.
enjoy about coming on the show. Tree gets with that big smile, and you're like, okay, well, even if your day was kind of going, once you see that smile, like, okay, let's go. I'm just saying. Put a little
Aw.
pep in your step, boys and girls. We appreciate you. I saw your post on social media. Father's Day. We appreciate all the women who, like yourself, have supported dads and give dads a big shout out. So I just want to say kudos to you and to all of your female members of your family who, celebrate dads everywhere. Appreciate you.
Yes. Well, happy Father's Day to you, Jonathan. How was your
Yes,
Father's Day?
it was great. Let me get my shades on right here. I
Yes.
am not.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. What did you and your
I'm
daughter
going to tell you right
do?
now. So, for those of you who don't know, I have only one daughter. Only one. And she reminded me on her last birthday just how old she was, which she reminded me just how old I am. Anyway, my daughter is now in her 40s. I can't believe I have a daughter in her 40s. I'm like, that's a grown woman, like really grown. But anyway, the cool thing about that is she gives great gifts because she makes money. She got a job. So she does as we always do. We went out, got something to eat. We actually tried something different. We went to a Thai restaurant.
Mm.
Yep. Tried something a little different. I was a little nervous. I'd been there before, but I forgot what noodle dish that I ordered. And I said, you know what? I hate to do this, but I'm going with something safe. Let's go with some fried rice. And they have an actual Vietnamese fried chicken sandwich, which was sensational. So big shout out to, I guess it's called Dua. They're right there in Hapeville. Nice little spot there, a corner. So I'm giving them a shout out there. But yeah, me and my daughter hung out and did that. Then we went back and she presented me with two marvelous gifts. She knows her father likes anything from the haberdashery. So she gave me a gift certificate to K&G, my favorite store.
Oh, yay.
Yes, ma'am. And then a small cash in the envelope saying, Dad, okay, just do what you want to do with this. I know you need a phone, need some other things. Just here's some cash, and I love you. And
Oh, so
great cards.
sweet and thoughtful.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Really appreciate her and just thank God for her so much. Before I ask you kind of what you did to celebrate, let's go to social media. And there's Miss Donna Jones. You'll have to read that because I don't know where my glasses are right now. So please read her comments.
She says, "Good evening, Tree and Jonathan and everyone. I'm looking forward to another great show." Oh, thank you. Good evening, Donna.
What's going on, DJ? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, how about your Father's Day? How did you and some of the other ladies in your familia celebrate dads in your family?
Well, my dads are in Michigan,
Okay. All right.
and my beloved hubby is in heaven.
Right. Obviously.
So I mail gifts, but I made them something really wonderful. And I used to always send them they love the edible arrangement with the fruit, and I would send the balloon and they would have it like in a football thing and all of that. But the store that I would always order those from in Michigan, both of my dads were like, yeah, don't order that anymore because the fruit is not the freshest. And so I
Oh,
can't
well.
do that anymore. But
Right.
I love going all out, and dads are very important as well as mothers. But anyone who knows me knows I am a daddy's girl. My daddy is my world. He is like, we talk every day. I am truly a daddy's girl. I'm his twin. I literally look just like my father. I just have my mother's complexion. So there's nothing I wouldn't do for my dad.
Well, you sound like my daughter. Same thing. She does look like me, um, which I guess is okay. But anyway, yeah, she does look like me. Spitting image, about the actually same size and same height now, which is unbelievable every time I think about that. Because I remember when she was just a little
That's
girl, and we
funny.
talked about this. She still does this. This interesting, interesting. Now she is, like I said, in her 40s. But when she was little, she used to do something. We would, if we would go anywhere, it was like I had an invisible tether attached to her. So like if I started drifting this way, all of a sudden I said, Vanessa, Dad, what? I said, Vanessa, you keep walking in, and this would go on like every like 500 yards. We walking somewhere, she bump into me. Do you know the last time we went to the mall? Next thing you know, oh, Vanessa.
So it hasn't changed.
Has not changed. Has not changed. Yeah, she still does that same thing. Which for me, it's just I gotta say, being a dad and same thing. I mean, it's like she's a daddy's girl all the way. It is just really a great thing. I don't think daughters really understand, how great that is for the father to have your daughter really kind of appreciate you like that and look at you like you're their hero. So it's just really a great thing. So kudos to all you guys out there who are dads, and for all you my friends who I didn't get a chance to tell you Happy Father's Day. I hope
Yes,
you had a
happy
wonderful
Father's Day, everybody.
Father's Day to you. Happy
Hope you had
Father's
a
Day to you.
wonderful Father's Day.
Absolutely, absolutely great day. Well, one guy is complaining that his day was not really made well, unfortunately, on Father's Day weekend. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It came after Father's Day weekend. Chris Paul is now no longer a Phoenix Sun. CP3 in a blockbuster trade has gone to the Washington Wizards. So he be gone. And he kind of felt that maybe this fellow that I put up on the banner kind of maybe I don't say threw him under the bus, but certainly was behind the scenes doing some stuff, Mr. Isaiah Thomas. And that's the question: did Isaiah Thomas cause Chris Paul and Bradley Beal trade? Um, give you guys a little background. Isaiah Thomas is very good friends with the new Phoenix Suns owner. And when the owner was quizzed about Isaiah having a position on the team, he said, "We have not hired him on the team, but we're not ruling out that he may not be advising us from time to time." Those are kind of his, what I want to quote him, but they were something like that. And so now Chris Paul is thinking that maybe Isaiah was the guy that kind of said, hey, this is a good trade to make. First of all, what do you think about that trade?
Well, I knew that it was coming eventually. I didn't know that
Right.
he was going the to DC to the Wizards, but the the Phoenix Suns at least reached out to him and his team and let him know that there was a possibility that they would trade him, which I thought was very respectful. You hear a lot of times where players, they just get traded. They had no clue that they were traded. So they did meet with him and his team and discuss it, so that they pretty much put it in his head just to know that they were weighing that option, which I thought was very respectful. And when I saw that they were doing that, I pretty much figured that they would actually trade him. And even before I heard the news of the meeting, I still thought that they would trade him, just because of the simple fact that every postseason, for whatever reason, which I hated for him, he's always injured and he can never play the full postseason. And when you have a great player like that, you actually want them on the court so that they can help you win. And I feel that the team finally thought, okay, he's a great player, but he's getting older. His injuries are just going to continue to happen. And we need someone in here who's younger, who can help us get to the next level, because ultimately their goal is to win a championship. And so I figured that, yes, I saw this coming. So no, I'm not surprised that it's happened. And I think that them getting Bradley Beal, who is also a phenomenal player, I think it's a win for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. I think that that's the one thing with CP3 has kind of been, unfortunately, his trademark, that he just cannot stay healthy, and especially in postseason. He was acting an excellent postseason again this year, and like was pointed out on a lot of the sports shows, Phoenix was giving the Nuggets some trouble before CP3 went out. So clearly, sadly for him, he's been on some teams that have made some runs. They've come oh so close, but never to the final. So hopefully he'll be able to find his way. And a lot of people think he's not going to stay with the Washington Wizards. They're going to move him on,
Right.
and to possibly, hopefully for his sake, a contender. So we'll see what happens there. Well, as our last week we talked about with our buddy Deshaun, that it is draft time coming up in the NBA. And of course, we all know about the Frenchman that is the #1 pick going to San Antonio. The Hawks this year, it's so funny. The record was kind of 500, was middle of the road. Well, that's kind of where their pick is, middle of the road. They're right in the middle at pick 15. So they're just outside of what you would consider a lottery, a quasi lottery team. Um, a lot of buzz about who they might take. What would you like to see them do as far as picking a type of player, not necessarily a player, a specific player, but what type of player would you like to see? Wingman, big man. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm always,
Yeah, I know.
you know me, Jonathan. You already know what I'm about to say.
See what I talk about, the
I
big
would
man.
always love to see them get a big man. We have great wing players. We have some great. The front court is phenomenal. The back court is phenomenal. But my goodness, when you have a great big man on the court that has a presence with defense, that is a big difference in the game. And not only will it help with just the court awareness, but having a big man in the paint will stop a lot of the scores that happen in the paint. It'll stop a lot of the drives. You'll have someone there to help if players are coming in. But number one in my book is rebounding. Defense wins games and championships, and rebounds make such a big difference because you can change the number of possessions that a team has, and that also equates to more points. So I will always go with the big man. I know that unfortunately with the game today, a lot of the players, or a lot of the fans, Steph Curry has changed the game. We all know this. But yes, you can't just have people out there shooting threes. You need a big man. And hopefully a lot of people learn this by watching the finals this year.
Yeah, no question. You need some balance, and I do see it looks like, especially in the West, it does apparently seem there's a shift back towards the big man. We saw it with Anthony Davis out in L.A. We see it certainly with the Jokic doing what he's doing in Denver, and even the size of Denver overall. They had a big team. You even look at the guy they brought off the bench, Aaron. I can't think of his name right now. I just drew a blank, but his impact off the bench, not just as a dunker, because like I showed this picture here, guy. I was shocked at just this transformation. Let me see if I can find the old picture here. The transformation of the mad dunker we see on the right to, now Aaron Gordon being this defensive stopper. But that was really key. And then being able to score in the clutch, as he had that big 29-point game. I believe it was in game 5, that really kind of sealed the deal for them. So I should say in game four. So there's no question you need that big man presence. Do I think the Hawks have some big men that are capable of playing very well? Absolutely. I think a lot of people are talking about, oh, we're going to trade Clinton, blah, blah, blah. Look, keep in
What?
mind, guys. Yeah, this
People
is what.
want to trade Clint
th-
Capella?
well, think about this. Think about what has happened in the last year. It used to be just a John Collins parade, right? Everybody every year, John Collins, every 2 months, John Collins. Then it shifted to, okay, well, we got to do whatever it takes. Let's trade Clint. Then it was like, hey, if we have to, if we get enough picks and players, let's trade Trey.
What? Okay, I did hear those because people were saying that Trey did not want to be here. But
Right.
first of all, those three players that you just named are the biggest stars on the team.
Just saying.
So trading each of them would be devastating. And why would you want to get rid of Clint Capella, who 2 years ago led, let me say this again, 2 years ago led the NBA in rebounds.
Just saying.
He was the top rebounding player in the NBA. Did I say NFL earlier? I meant NBA.
I
Football's
got what you mean.
fine.
Right.
But yes, he led the NBA in rebounding. You definitely do not want to get rid of your rebounder. I don't know. I get confused a lot of times with these Hawks fans. Todd, he said, that was me, Tree. He don't. Laugh
Yeah,
out
he
loud.
was talking about Trey Young. He's talking about Trey Young. He's been a
Oh,
main
you
guy
were
like Trey.
you were the one saying that
I was
that
one
they
of the main
should
guys
trade
saying Trey's a
Trey.
cancer in the locker room.
I disagree. I don't think we need to trade Trey, John Collins, or Clint Capella. Keep them all here. Those are three of the biggest stars on the team. Come
Right.
on,
Yeah.
people.
I mean,
We
first of
need
all, let's
to
look at it
have
like this.
faith.
Right. First of all, John Collins is all over every marketing thing you see with the WellStar people and the health and wellness. All you see is John Collins throughout the game everywhere. Number two, not only was Clint Capella the number one rebounder in the league, but keep in mind, he was in the top four in the final ballot for NBA Defensive Player of the Year in that same year.
Yes.
Okay?
And he blocks a lot of shots. Hello. No, no, no.
Right. What John Collins needs is John Collins needs to, now that he's moved away from the PEDs, he needs to get, or the Hawks need to get him a real trainer that can bulk him up. I think John needs to get about 10 pounds of just muscle because he technically plays the power forward and you do some banging down there. And I think if he had that muscle, it even will help him because there are times when John gets in the paint that he doesn't seem to be able to muscle the ball up if it's not a dunk. So I'd like to see him get a little bit more strength. Well,
Well,
speaking of strength,
okay.
we got to take a quick little break. And guys, don't go nowhere because here's the thing. We're wide open today because unfortunately one of our team members won't be here. So we're going to be winging it from the hip. So if you want to make your comments known, this could be your time, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show because we do have to take a break to give a shout out to our sponsors. So we'll be right back. All right. Don't go anywhere. Thank you.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
Giving you a little old school style from the 80s. That's like the Phil Collins, that heavy drumming from back in the day. So I want to give you a little bit of that because it is time, guys, for the segment that you really love. The one and only Queen, bringing you things from the Queen's Court.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Queen's Court. Here, we discuss professional athletes doing positive, wonderful things in their communities. And today, we will be discussing my favorite professional golfer, Tiger Woods. He's actually the reason I fell in love with golf. He's not my favorite golfer. My husband is my favorite golfer, but he is my favorite professional golfer. And I realize that a lot of people are not aware of his foundation and the many great things that he is doing with his foundation and for our youth. So I just want to focus on a couple of those things and let you all know about the many programs that he has and also the much success that he has done with his foundation. He started his foundation in 1996. He, along with his father, Earl Woods, may he rest in peace, and they started this foundation so they can help underserved youth. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little here because I do not want to get this information wrong, and I want you all to get all of it. So the Tiger Woods Foundation is about empowering minorities, especially underprivileged minority students. The Tiger Woods Foundation's goal for these students is to be given the support and resources needed to be successful in school and beyond. And over the 20 years that the foundation has been open, they have served more than 175,000 students, as well as employing 1,000 educators each year. The foundation has been so successful due to the goal of developing self-advocacy skills in young people that their students have, get this, a 98.7% college graduation rate, which is one of the highest graduation rates for a scholarship program in the country. I'm going to say that again. They have a 98.7% college graduation rate. That's phenomenal. One of the greatest things about this foundation that Tiger Woods created this program because he saw a hole in society that he wanted to fill. He created this foundation because, and this is, he's quoted for saying, I wanted a permanent safe space for kids to explore their dreams. He founded this program to help impoverished children and young adults. And in the past 22 years of being open, he has exceeded all expectations of his foundation. The foundation helps with cybersecurity. They have after-school programs. They teach students cybersecurity, biotechnology, podcasting, drone technology, computer science, artificial intelligence. They have different programs and different golf tournaments throughout the year that helps raise funds for all of this programming. And some of those we've heard of, plenty of them, right? I've heard of all of them. The Genesis Invitational that he puts on, the Tiger Jam, the Nexus Cup, the Tiger Woods Junior Invitational, the Tiger Woods Invitational, and the Hero World Challenge. So when you see these events on television, you see they have a lot of fun. There's great golf being played or different activities, but those funds are going to support his foundation. And the thing that I really love about his foundation is that it's not just about different things of technology, but it's things with technology that will help these youth actually have a career in the future, have them start their own businesses in the future. But with his Earl Woods Scholarship Program, again, 98.7% graduation rate from college. That is phenomenal. And the work that he is doing by employing educators and serving over 175,000 students, helping them with their education is just really, really phenomenal. I love the cybersecurity. When you look up cybersecurity, we need more people in that field because that's one of the fields that really has a lag and a shortage of employees that employers are looking for. So whenever anyone gets in that field, they will get hired very quickly and be paid a nice amount of money because there's a shortage, I believe, of almost 800,000 people in that field. But also with the drone technology, we know drones are very popular. You see drones at all of the events. When we had our 5K down at the Battery, there were drones flying over. There were also helicopters, but drones are everywhere. And so with these youth learning all of these phenomenal skills and STEM and just things that are helping their creative juices flow, but also helping with other things with math and technology. It is really phenomenal. So a lot of people know about Tiger Woods on the golf course. A lot of people know that he builds other golf courses, and he's just really a genius when it comes to the golf game. But a lot of people are not aware of his foundation and how many youth he is serving around the world, and the wonderful positive impacts that he is putting in their lives and also in the educators' lives that are helping them. So whenever you get a chance, you see the information on this screen. You can follow them on Twitter and Instagram. Please go to the website if it's something that you feel passionate about or something that you would like to donate or volunteer or participate with. But definitely look up his foundation, and you will see so many more wonderful things. I only have a short amount of time, so I tried to cover as much as I could, but there's just so many positive things that he is doing with our youth. So please go to his website and check it out. And I hope you've enjoyed today's Queen's Corner. Do you have any comments or questions, Jonathan?
I just wanted to get that back up for everybody to see that there. There is the foundation information right there. At TGR Found is on Twitter, at TGR Foundation on Facebook, and at TGR Found on the gram. So you can find out more about him in any of those spots, and we would appreciate you guys doing that. I know, see, it's important to put your money where things of impact. Okay. And one thing Tiger Woods has done, and even his affiliation with the First Tee Foundation, which is huge around the country. Matter of fact, we've showcased them on several times, even showcased them on the TV shows that we do. So yeah, it's just great stuff that's going out there in the community. So, kudos to him, and kudos for the success rate, because you look at these pegs. I'll pop it back up here again. All these different pegs and the number of students that have been impacted, over 150,000, 7 learning labs, all these types of things that go on. And now it's just, like I said, just good to kind of see what is happening out there in the community. Well, speaking of the community, let's take a look at our social media community and see, because it's been buzzing and popping when you're on. Okay. Our man Todd. Let's see. I told people, which is true, if you guys have a topic you want us to talk about tonight, you certainly can do so, because our normal Work That Thing segment not going to be on, so we'll have some extra time for you to jump in. And of course, the troublemaker, Mr. Todd. I'm gonna let Tree read what Mr. Todd is talking about. Here we go. All right.
Todd says, I got a topic. Are the Atlanta Falcons hexed? Look at record. Night before Super Bowl, Eugene, then 28-3. Mike Vick arrest. Baffling coaching hires. Jamal Anderson tears up knee.
Well, Todd, that's a lot of bad news, and we will talk about that. Not necessarily now, but in the second half of the program, we get more into football. We will talk about, are the Falcons hexed, yay or nay. We'll get into that. Now, we also have from Miss Donna Jones. I believe she has something there. If you can read that for us, Tree.
Sure. I didn't know anything about Tiger's Foundation. It's doing wonderful things. I learned something new today. Yay. I'm so happy that you learned something new, Donna. That is my goal with Queen's Court.
That's really the idea. I mean, it's just, we want people to know what's going on. And like I said, again, if you have something good that's going on with your school, whether you have a coach, you have a player that's doing some stuff off the field as well as on the field, here's how you do it. Go ahead and connect with us here. Let me see if I can scroll it up on the page. There it is. Hit me up, Jay Simmons at realtalksports.net. You can text me, 678-410-9833. We'd love to have them on. We can interview them and let them talk to all of our audience about the great things they're doing. So again, one more time, if you have a great sports story, you just want to give somebody the kudos that they're due, send me an email, jsimmons at realtalksports.net, or text me, 678-410-9833. I gotta be careful now. Pass my phone. I'm now getting besieged with scammers. Oh, they're just.
Well, that's what happens when you give out your number. They're gonna put it on the list. Oh, I have a number. People pay for those, so they're just, I'll get paid to put this number out.
Yeah, they've been lighting me up. There's no doubt. They have been showing me little or no mercy since I did that. Let's see if we have anything else on social media here. Todd said he can go on for a week with all the hexes that he believes that the Falcons are
I
under.
could go on and on for a week.
For a week. Yeah,
I
listen,
don't believe in that.
Now, I mean, they talk about this lady that allegedly when they first built the Georgia Dome, because they did, obviously tear up a good section of the African American community, and there was allegedly some burial areas they disturbed. This lady said they hexed them and said, "Y'all guys never going to win anything." Well, I mean, I don't know about that. The bottom line, the Falcons have won. They went to the Super Bowl. That 28-3. I'm not going to talk about that because that just was very bizarre, and I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say anything else more about that. So anyway, perfect timing for me not to say anything because I'm gonna let the videos do the talking right now. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Got to take a break, but don't go nowhere because we still gonna have some fun right here. Stay tuned.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is your time to get what you want. Go work that thing with Work That Thing supplements.
Even though our good buddy Tyrone Poole, the champion, was not here, I want to give him a big shout out. And guys, as you know, he is a award-winning author as well. So if you would like a guy to come on and talk to your students or talk to even your corporation, contact Tyrone. Remember, you can hit him up anywhere on social media at Tyrone Poole 38, Tyrone Poole 38, and he will get back to you. I'm sure he would love to come out. Here it is right here. I think this is it here. Yep, Tyrone Poole 38. Hit him up, and he would love to come out and speak to your group at a convenient time. Big shout out to our man Tyrone Poole. All right, we're back, guys.
He always has the gems too, so you definitely want him to come and speak. He will
definitely the man of the Nuggets.
Everybody in the crowd.
He is the man of the Nuggets. Okay, let's go to social media. It is buzzing. Let's see here. We have okay. Let's see. Now, Ton, I can't read this. Hopefully he's not throwing any shade. Let me get my glasses ready, Tree, in case he's throwing some shade. Let me get them ready.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Tiger, I hope when career wraps up, focus in on this great foundation. I'm concerned about Tiger and his addiction to pain meds. It's not public, but those around him are concerned.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he is he wants to play golf, number one. Number two, the injuries he's had are very debilitating. And well, we know from football and other sports, we know that once you get involved with any type of opioids, danger, Will Robinson, danger. I mean, that's just the way it works. I mean, I remember when I got my operations, I had them basically cut my dosage because when I first got out of the hospital after the first operation, I was kind of scared myself. I was like, hey man, I need these. But what I did was I made them basically I cut the dosage in half so I could kind of wean myself off. But it's afflicted a lot of people. Brett Favre and a whole list of athletes and entertainers who have been hit with that. And it's dangerous. I mean, get you out of here. I mean, that's what happened to Heath Ledger and a couple other actors and actresses over the years. Very young people. It's nothing to play with. So hopefully, he'll have that under control. All right, let's go here. H.C. Hardy also has got a comment about Tiger Woods.
Also, check out Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy new TGL League that starts January 2024. That is true. I saw that they are doing this new league, and the facility is phenomenal. And definitely check it out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch it, and hopefully I can get a chance to go in person one day. But I love the concept and love what him and Rory have put together.
Yeah, so I mean, if anybody gets a chance to do this, and I plug this every year, and hopefully we'll have some of their people on to join us this year. Um, if you haven't done it already, guys, remember the season and tournament, top 30 players in the year in the world is played right here in Atlanta. It's called the Tour Championship. They normally have August. Wow, they normally have it sometime in August, I believe, and it is great because it basically is a broader concept of what Rory and Tiger are going to do around the league, which is to give the fans more access. And so if you've never seen these golfers up close and personal, you probably have to take a day off during the week because Wednesday's the day their practice day, and they are basically allow themselves to be accessible to the fans because that is their practice day before the tournament starts on that Thursday. So if you can go on down, food is actually fairly reasonable. I'll give the tour credit. They got Chick-fil-A and other stuff down there, the normal stuff you pay. They don't overcharge you, but it's really great. The course is a really great course because you can kind of see everybody very clearly, and of course, not last but not least, they give you access, limited, albeit, to the actual practice range. You actually can see the players practicing and warming up. So if you haven't done this before, Tour Championship, top 30 players in the world, and I agree with you, Tree. I think that this new PGL league, where again it's more focused on fan participation and so forth, I think it's going to be a winner.
I definitely think it's going to be a winner. I'm like, okay. When I saw that, I said, yes.
It's going to be interesting, of course, how this all plays out with what type of golf is going to play because as we discussed in previous weeks, the golfing world was shook up by this great merger between the PGA Tour and the Live Golf, and I forget the other associate. I think they're also now tied to the European Tour. They're all now one big happy family, and
I don't know if they're happy, but they're definitely one family.
they surely ain't happy. I mean, and especially those two gentlemen right there, Tiger and Rory, who were the two most outspoken guys in the PGA about the Live. Yeah, as a matter of fact, other players, John Rahm, I think a couple other guys said, "Look, man, it's like we were betrayed because we were led to believe that we need to hold our ground, and this Live thing was wrong. It's backed by a lot of Saudi money. It's not we didn't want to do it, but you know how it is. Money talks. Have you got enough oil in the machine? Oil being money." It's amazing how things can go away. So no lawsuits and so forth. So it will be interesting going forward to see how they interact. But the bottom line is that, hey, for the fans at least, you now are able to see all the top golfers at any tournament. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But I think it's at a cost to a lot of people's integrity and how they do business. So yeah. Anyway, getting back to Rory and Tiger is going to be very, very interesting. And starts in 2024, huh? Interesting.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. So it should be good stuff. All right, let's take a little shift here. We didn't talk much about the NBA draft, so we're going to hit that just a little bit. I know you talked about the Hawks should get a possible big man. I'm going to read to you what Yahoo says. They're thinking on their mock draft that the the Hawks are going to pick at number 15. Let's see their selection. They have them picking a guard, Carson Wallace, out of Kentucky, 6'4", 185-pound freshman. What they say about him is Wallace is the best on-ball defender in this draft class and will have no issue guarding both 1 and 2 guards at the NBA level. During his one season at Kentucky, his touches were limited offensively, playing alongside Wheeler. But if the draft has taught NBA teams anything, that they're much more productive in the pros than what they have showed in college. Wallace is a decent outside shooter and uses his speed to his advantage against bigger guards. Now, what other mocks have is the Hawks going big man. Not necessarily power forward, but certainly a big man, 6'8". He's kind of a string bean, 6'8". Grady Dick, 6'8", 205-pound freshman out of Kansas. So Dick is a skilled offensive wing who does so many things that NBA teams look for in a productive perimeter player. Outside of his consistent three-point shooting, he's averaging just around 40% from the three-point range. He says he has a high basketball IQ, is always looking to push the ball up the court after a missed shot. What do we always talk about the Hawks? They need more ball movement. They need to push the ball, play up tempo. Said the Magic are still struggling because they actually haven't gone to the Magic. The Magic are still struggling with outside shooting, finishing 25th in 3 points. But if that gentleman falls, many people think that he will go to the Hawks at 15. Sounds like a baller to me. I like the size. like the wingspan, 6'8", a little scrawny at 205 pounds, but they'll give him some steak and potatoes for a while to get him straightened out. But that's the guy I kind of like. Also, like, well, they'll feed you something. But I like the fact that, in essence, to me, what he looks like, I hate to say it, what he looks like as far as his size, he reminds me of Kevin Huter, the guy that they stupidly let go. Because that's a guy that they sorely miss. A guy that's about 6'6", 6'7", a guy that can handle the ball decently, but more importantly, a guy that can shoot from three. So hopefully they'll pick up somebody like that if they don't get a big man.
Since we are on the NBA, I just would love to talk about how I was so hurt and I was not happy with the Phoenix Suns when they let Monty Williams go. I was very disappointed in them, right? He did not deserve that. But
Yeah.
then
So, well,
my
this is kind of,
Detroit Pistons stepped in and swooped him up.
see,
And
I
so
knew
now
there
he
was
is the
another
head
connection.
coach of the Detroit Pistons.
Pistons, right? So I knew it was a tie-in somehow to Michigan. I knew there was a tie-in to this, but this can't be some random statement. There has to be and there it is, the tie-in to Detroit. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with firing top coaches, I don't care. I mean, Rasheed Wallace made some disparaging comments about Doc Rivers saying he couldn't coach. Basically, the players coach the team. I don't care. You know, to me, that's a lot of clickbait because at the end of the day, you can say what you want. Most players, I mean, most coaches become great coaches because they have great players. Now, the greatest coaches, they have the ability to take a player who's very good and make him great, or excuse me, not make him great, but allow him to be great. They can take a good player and make him very good. So I don't want to take away from that. But the bottom line is if you don't have good players and great players, it's going to be very hard for you to become a great championship coach. It's very difficult.
Well, let's be clear. These are professional sports. So
Right.
all the players are great, right? There's not players on the team that are just awful. These are
Right.
professional athletes, and it's hard to get in the NBA and stay in the NBA and get a contract. We know how many guys who have gone undrafted. We look at the Miami Heat this year. A lot of their players were undrafted players, but they are now in the NBA and they have contracts and they're playing. But there are so many other guys in the G League or playing overseas that did not have those opportunities. So we have a lot of talent in the NBA and in professional sports. So it's not like any of these coaches don't have great players. All of the players are great. You just have some that are exceptionally great and that really change the game and make a difference.
You said something there about the G League. So this is the other thing that's kind of different about this year's draft. In the draft, they actually are drafting, or some of the guys that are picked to go in that first round in top 20 are from what you would call non-traditional sources. They're not coming from college. They actually have a couple of guys that are coming from the G League. They got some guys coming from a league right here in Atlanta, which I had no idea was going on. They call them, I think it's called the Elite. And they actually have two twin players that many people will say may be the first twins ever to be drafted in the first round together. So yeah, these guys, and of course we have players now coming, more and more players coming from overseas. So it's definitely become a different kind of situation. And the guys I'm talking about are the Thompson brothers, Ausar, and I will get the other name, probably I got it wrong. I think it's Ausar and Amen Thompson. They both play for a team called the Overtime Elite, which is based right here in Atlanta. They also have two G League players that they think are going to be drafted very high in the first round. So yeah, definitely the NBA is starting to pull sources from everywhere. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting. Let's go back here to your to that investment really quickly here before we shift to football. H.C. Hardy said currently Steph Curry, Lewis Hamilton, and Serena Williams are all investors in this group. And said don't be surprised if Michael Jordan, he's talking about, I'm sure, invests as well.
They're invested in what group?
In Tigers, what you were talking about earlier, I wanted to get that up there because I passed up there the new league that
and the new
Tiger
league.
together.
Yes,
Yep.
I don't blame them. Great
Yep.
opportunity.
So it should be very, very, very interesting to kind of watch them and see what they're doing. Let's shift a little bit into football. Of course, we know the news that came out last year. I should say earlier this year that the playoffs now are going to be expanded from 4 teams to 12 teams. Now, First of all, to me, that's too many teams. I think you should move from 4 to 8. I think 12 is just it's too much. That's just me personally thinking. It gets to be
But think
about money.
about it. Now that
Go
they're
ahead.
going from 4 to 12, your Falcons just may make it, like you said.
No, hang on. Before I go, no, hang on. Before we go to pro football, hang on. I'm talking about the new expanded college football playoffs. They went from 4 teams,
Are you talking about
bypassed
college?
8, went right to 12.
Oh yeah, duh. You couldn't be talking about the NFL. They already have more than 4 teams. Well,
Right.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I understand why they're doing it, okay? Because there's a lot of pressure because every year you got teams that are on the bubble. You got teams that, they talked about Georgia a couple of years ago had 2 losses, and they technically had the hardest schedule in college
Alabama.
football. Alabama not getting in. There was a year, I think Ohio State did not get in. I think there was a time that Michigan did not get in. A lot of people thought they
Yeah,
should have got in. Right.
last year.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. Let's correct the tape. Let's correct the tape so we can be accurate. Your Wolverines did, in fact, get into the college football playoffs, and they played probably one of the most exciting games. Actually, those 2 semifinal games were the 2 of the most exciting games. Now, your guys, mysteriously, your quarterback threw not 1, but 2 pick sixes, which doomed your Michiganders and allowed TCU to upset them in the semifinals.
TCU played great in the
Right.
semifinals and beat my Michiganders, right? But in that game, there were some very questionable calls, but mainly in the Ohio State game, there were questionable calls with them not getting in. But that's another conversation for another day. But I
see
do
as we're going
like.
back to that Big Ten.
I'm always going to talk about the Big Ten. I know you guys are SEC down here. I get that. SEC. We can always talk that too. But I'm just saying, as far as the comment expanding from 4 teams to 12 teams, I don't think that's too many, because what I love about that is we know that the playoffs, that's a start of a new season. And when you look at basketball, it's just about getting into March Madness. Once you get into March Madness, nothing that you did before that matters. It's a whole new tournament, and that's it. So I like with the college football of going from 4 teams to 12 teams, because once these 12 teams get in from what they've done that season and in the past of that season, it's a whole new slate. And I think that you will see some surprises with some teams. I still think, of course, the top teams will win in football. It's not as simple as basketball where you just have a great game or this and that. That can happen sometimes. But I think that this is really good for college football. Michigan can't compete with UGA tree. I'm sorry. UGA is grown men. Hold up, Todd. Now, Todd, you're one of my favorite people. Please do not have this conversation. We know that Michigan can compete with Georgia. Listen, I hope Michigan plays Georgia. I hope we play you guys. I hope we play you guys this year. Go blue. That's what I'm going to say. even after the game.
At the end of the day, played okay when they played Georgia in the semifinals a couple years ago. They played all right. They kind of got behind and makes it difficult. Anytime you're playing against a stout defensive team, you get behind. It always makes it tough. So, But yeah, Michigan's got a good team. They belong. I just don't like the idea of going from 4 to 12. I like the 8, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to ensure that now it really just gets down to money. They want to make sure that teams have the ability to play at least one of these games at their own home stadium. So they basically get an extra home game. And then the city that it's in obviously gets all that influx of all the people coming in from the opposing squad and the media and all that kind of stuff. So I understand the play, but it's they let's just call it what it is. It's a money grab. It means more TV, more time.
Money.
It's always about that. The other thing is that there's talk about the idea, because the NILs now, the big schools are losing control. Now they're talking about, well, maybe we want to take the NFL model and set up something more like parity. We don't want just the big boys to do well NIL. So they're talking about this. Nick Saban said, well, if you're going to do that, you're probably going to have to create a 50 or 60 team super league. and do it that way, which I think is preposterous, because one of the reasons why I think college football remains so popular, especially here in the South, is it's not professional. It's not a league. It's you get a chance to root for your school, your team that you went to, that you grew up watching the heroes, that maybe your parents or your grandparents or family members went to. And yes, are players, have players been getting paid for eons? Absolutely. But I'm saying you still have at least the appearance of it still being a semi-amateur thing where you like I said, you just it's the way you cheer for a college team is different than a pro team. It's just different.
I guess with some people, but what I mean, the thing is this: what difference does it make if it's college or professional? You still can cheer for your team, right? If you went to this college, or you went to this school, or your parents went to this college, you still can cheer for them. The players getting paid or not has nothing to do with you cheering for the team. The players getting paid or not has nothing to do with them being great players.
No, I don't. No, I think you misinterpreted what I mean. What I mean is that people, for example, here in Atlanta, I mean, there are people that cheer for the Cowboys, they're cheering for whoever. And a lot of people come to Atlanta, that they cheer for the Falcons only because it's kind of almost like entertainment. But you take people that are Michigan grads, like I know there's a guy at my office, that works with it. I mean, this guy is almost like he died in blue. I mean, he was like that. I mean, he likes Michigan. I think his dad is a Michigan guy. I think his family members went there. So it's more of I guess it seems to be more of a family thing around a school that's more generational versus professional teams. And you always kind of had that aura that guys would, I would say, weren't playing for free, but it just seemed to be a more sincere and fun approach to the game. Now, of course, that has tapered off dramatically over the last 50 years as these purses and TV and more money gets into it. It is really more almost like a business. Anytime you're talking about building $100 million facility, yeah, the amateur idea is going out the window. So I get it. But I still
Well,
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
So but I still like the idea of, I think it should have went from 4 to 8 and then maybe 12 later. But, it is what it is. It's going to be 12 now. So.
All right. So a couple of things I want to say to what you said. First things
Yes.
first. Yes, Michigan, the people there and the fans are phenomenal. Michigan is the #1 selling paraphernalia out of all of the universities in the United States. I mean, they have the largest stadium, the big house. I mean, I can go on and on, but they also are the most winningest football program in the history of college football. So there's a lot of reasons for that greatness. But I like the fact that the players are getting paid. And let's also keep in mind that players were getting paid before the NIL deal. They were just getting paid illegally and under the table, and people were sneaking around doing it. But you saw so many players or teams that got caught because they were slipping players money or buying them this or buying them that. So now it's just out in the open. So nothing has changed except for the fact that now everybody's okay with it. But I've always thought that the players should be paid, because you are making multi-millions of dollars for these universities. And they are, yes, paying your tuition, paying your room and board, paying your books, paying your food. But I have always felt that college athletes should get paid, especially when you're bringing in all of these multi-millions of dollars to universities. I don't think it changes the game. I don't think it changes the atmosphere. I don't think it changes anything except for the fact that now the players are getting paid.
Yeah, so for me, it's really I have no angst against the players. It's the players. See, the players to me have never been the issue. It's never been about the players. To me, it's always been about the universities and the NCAA and their incessant greed. It's got nothing to do with the players, because every move they make, it's got nothing to do with trying to do anything for the players. It's all about more money into the revenues in the hands of the NCAA and these various top schools. That's where my irritation is, because, for example, they'll change your schedule at the last minute. It's all around TV. And, okay, we're going to put this guy at the 4 o'clock game. We don't care. It's just, I'm just beginning to get frustrated. The word for today is frustrated, a made up word. But anyway, I'm just it's always about money, 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 money. And it's like taking, for me at least, some of the enjoyment out of sport. And I have no, like I said, I understand guys are getting paid for a long time ago. Even the great John Wooden, guys like him and other great coaches who were never on any scandal. You talk to their players, they say, hey, because they had culpable deniability. They said they were so far removed from that. But Jabbar said he's getting paid back in the 60s. So I get it. I'm just saying, to me now, the money's got so big into the universities. And the only reason why they're doing this, and the only reason they're talking about having a super league, is not they're concerned about, oh, the big guys might muscle and just run away from everything over the small guys. It's the opposite. They know that the NILs level the playing field, because a small school, all they need is 2 or 3 big boosters, and all of a sudden they can bring in the same type of players they could get at a USC or at a Michigan or Alabama. So I think this idea about, oh, we're trying to make it fair for everybody, is a bunch of that's just me talking. Anyway, my last comment from social media, Mr. Todd. He says, nope, that's not the one I want here. Is that it? Oh, that was yeah, it's Todd. He said, I can't see any college team lining up with UGA. The head is moving.
Todd, are
Uh-oh.
you born and raised in Georgia, or you just a fan because you live here? Either way, it just sounds to me, which is not a problem, that hey, Georgia's your team. I get it. And don't get me wrong, they are a very good team. They are national champions. I get it. But yes, people can line up with them. And we'll see this year. So we'll see. We'll have to revisit this during football season.
I mean, I think it's going to be a great season. I think it's going to be a good season. I think because, again, like you mentioned, the NILs, I think that players also, I think the portal is a good thing. It sometimes can be overused a little bit, but I think it's good because players should have had before the same ability that coach has. Coach come in, sign a contract, break a contract, just take off the next year. No nothing, no penalty, anything.
I wish the portal existed when I was playing. That's all I'm going to say. I wish.
That might be for another show.
I do.
Treat telling the truth about her college days. Amen. Well, we're going to wrap up really quick and just mention the Falcons. It went from some of the national guys thinking the Falcons might have a chance to do some things, but now, of course, the tide has turned back. A lot of guys saying they don't think the Falcons are as good as what people expect, because of the big question mark at quarterback, and also the question mark of the lingering injury now to Kyle Pitts, who still has not yet been able to practice fully with the injury he got from last year. So what do you think? This is just all talking points, or people have legitimate concern about those Atlanta Falcons doing some work next year?
I mean, I think people will always have concerns just because of how the season ended last year, but they've made quite a few good moves in the offseason. And we know you, Jonathan, you're saying that they're going to go to the playoffs and they're going to win 2, not 1, but 2 playoff games. So I think you have a lot of people that's in your corner and believing that the Falcons can do so. They definitely did pick up some great defensive pieces. And we know the defense wins championships. I say it all the time, and it's true. That's why I'm always saying it. And when you have great defense, to me, that changes the game. Yes, we need more work on offense, and yes, we still need more work on defense. But the keys and the pieces that the Falcons picked up on defense, I think they are big game changers. So we'll see. The quarterback is going to be the big piece, though. You have to have a great quarterback. If you don't have a great quarterback, game over. So we'll see how Ridder does. That's your boy. You've been wanting him to get the starting spot. Now he has the starting spot, and now everybody can see if he is the future or not.
Yeah, I think that basically, as much as this is a new regime, it's really deja vu all over again. Basically, the way they've constructed this team is very similar to what they did with Matt Ryan back in 2008. That had that run between 2008 and 2012, when they brought in another guy, ironically named Smith. It was the same type of situation. They brought in a really, really good running back. They ran the ball a lot, and then they had play action fakes. And of course, during that time period, they developed a guy by the name of Roddy White, who, when he first came here with Michael Vick, couldn't catch a rock half the time and turned into be one of the great pass catchers in the league. And of course, the piece de resistance was when they leveraged everything. I think 3 draft picks to bring in some guy named Julio Jones. And so by surrounding Matt Ryan with those kind of pieces, and then they brought in a guy that we had a chance to interview back in the day, the Predator, John Abraham, to actually give them some defensive presence off the line. The Falcons, that's how they built their team. Matt was not throwing anywhere near the level he was throwing in the Super Bowl years, when he was throwing, I think, like 30, 40 times a game. So that's what they're going to try to do with Ridder. They're going to mimic the same thing. They want to run the ball, short passes, control drives, take a lot of time off the clock, and then hopefully keep an arrested defense and let the chips fall in May from there. So yeah, I still think they're
We'll
going to do it.
see.
And one other little thing, as much as I like my man Desmond Ritter, Coach Smith said something very interesting. They brought in the young man who originally played right down the road at Collins Hill here in Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. He said, "We know we also can win with this guy, the backup quarterback." So at the end of the day, there's no doubt in my mind that Smith has got a game plan set up so that no matter what happens, the Falcons should be a winning ball club. All right, about to wrap it up. Let's go to Mr. Todd. He's got a few little comments here. Let's see
Yes, I
here.
was about to say, and then also, to be fair, I don't see any color change. Oh yeah, he said that one already.
All
But
right,
I
I'll
do
do it that way.
just
Okay,
want
I'll
to
just-
address. I went to Georgia for a period and named my dog Dooley. Oh, that's cute. Well, no wonder. Okay,
Go
I
ahead.
knew. So you did go to Georgia
Yeah.
for a period. I get it. That's why. That's why. But I'm not mad at that. That's good. And then also your comment earlier, are the Falcons hexed? I do not think
Right.
they are. Have things happen? Yes, but when you look at every NFL team, things happen every year to every team. You get people who are injured or things that happens. And as far as the Super Bowl game, Jonathan doesn't want to talk about it, but I will. The game was won until they felt that the game was won. And that was the problem. I don't care if you're up 50 points, you still have to play until the clock says 0. And the problem with the Falcons is that they were too busy celebrating and forgetting who the quarterback was on the other side of the field, which was Tom Brady. You can never just think that Tom Brady's just going to lay down. And that was the problem. So I don't think it's a matter of them being hexed. I just thought that it was a matter of bad coaching, bad decision making, and then the team celebrating way too soon because the clock still had a lot of time on it. And we see it was enough time for the New England Patriots to come back and get a W. And Todd said, I may take some Falcon jerseys too. Okay, you read that because I'm not reading that part.
He said something about taking them to a witch and having them burned or hexed. I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, it's like this. The Super Bowl was a lot of people at fault there. It just was a matter of, ironically, Coach Shanahan said the opposite. He said the reason why he kept throwing the ball because he was worried about Tom Brady and the Patriots coming back. But to me, it just was bad clock management. Common sense tells you go slow the pace down, run the ball, and because now the clock because look, you're up 28-3. What you need to do now is you need to compress that game. You have to use the clock as your ally. Okay, because the bottom line, as great as that comeback was, basically, had they shaved one more minute off of that time, we wouldn't be talking about 28-3 anymore. Because he wouldn't have had the time to go down the field. But you got a situation where you're running the game as if you're behind 28-3. Yeah, it just was just a poorly coached game in the second half. I will give credit to Tom Brady.
Run the dang ball.
Right. Well, that's really all they do is just run the ball.
That's all they had to do. Just run the ball.
Run the ball. Just run the ball and really just slow down. I mean, like I said, they were going hey, you got that kind of lead, hey, you in no hurry. You in no hurry. Get up there, just make sure, watch that 40-second clock.
I can assure you it's a lesson they will never forget again.
Oh yeah, all his fans will never forget it. I'll definitely never forget it. Yeah, because I was there in person live at one of the big watch parties, and I had all kinds of, and even when people call me, hey man, don't call me yet. No, wait till after the game. Don't be telling, because people, hey man, the party gonna be high. No. And when they got that strip sack fumble, I said, uh-oh. And they went down and scored. I said, oh, this doesn't feel good at all. I said, this doesn't feel good. Because you kind of feel it was a shift. Anyway, we got to go on.
And again, let's remember Tom Brady went to Michigan. I'm just saying, okay, Michigan, okay.
Oh, my gosh. Let me get my shades on. Let me get out of here. All right, guys, you know how we do this? When we wrap our show up, we want to make sure that you know how to follow our guests, our co-hosts. So, Ms. Tree Dolman, the Michigander, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on social media at Purple Diva 13, as well as Ms. America International 2022. Make sure you stay tuned because, again, I always have some positive things coming up. Have some more coming up soon. So make sure you watch on social media and see what's going on. Thank you for watching.
Yes. The Queen has spoken. All right, guys, you know me. Like I said, I am a real life minister, and no, I did not get my ministerial license off the side of a cereal box. I'm a licensed minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So that's going to be my final words to you. If you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, I'm going to tell you, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know him today. Why? Because of two reasons. Number one, he made you, he loved you, and he died for you. But the good news is he rose from the dead. And so all you have to do is repent of your sins and believe that. And two wonderful things happen. Number one, you become an adoptive citizen of the kingdom of God. And number two, you are now a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And what that means is, being those two things, you now can go to God like a heavenly father. Ask him for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, because remember, he's only going to give you what's good for you, he'll grant it to you. And number two, if and when you die, you go to that happy place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people anywhere. It's sunny, it's bright. The buildings are adorned with the most beautiful jewels ever created. Matter of fact, the streets are paved with gold that's so pure, it's translucent. And you get to see God and Jesus Christ and all the people of love face to face. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned will not be there. Instead, it's dark, it's dreary, it stinks, it's hot, it's painful, and most of all, you're cut off from God, Jesus Christ, and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until next time, when you get a chance to see us again, we say God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long.